to mention the inspiration and marketing savvies go henceforth forthwith and destroy those dents with a lovely cup of tea and a tip of a lip. Attention for those dent guys. Bravo, chaps.
Good evening, everybody.
Welcome to Those Dent Guys with me, Ben Ridley, off of Trident PDR.
And Martin Saddle Socks from Dent Removal Limited.
And we're joined by Andrew. Yay! There we go.
I didn't think you were going to do it. You like half did it.
Yeah, I didn't know either, to be honest. I kind of wasn't, then I did, and here we go. Off to a running start.
It's the first time I've seen it come on from the start, and that intro is just unbelievable.
Have you? What? You've never watched the show before?
Well, I jump in every now and again for a bit of abuse.
Honestly, working alongside you for that long, and you can't even be bothered to watch.
I bet it's probably sick of hearing it from you anyway during the week.
I'd say so.
No, normally it's because he says, "Well, I can't help you any longer. I've got to go," and then 2 hours later, ping. Oh, that's where you have to be. I'm still at work finishing what he jumped out on.
Right.
Honestly, it's almost like he fixes dents all of a sudden. No, Andrew would be talking about the PPF stuff that we get up to at the workshop, but that is another story for a couple of minutes' time. First of all, though, I think we should apologise for jumping in on a Sunday evening and ruining your
weekend.
Ruining your weekend, yeah. Sorry about that.
Sorry about that.
Somewhat down to me, that being away stuck in hotels on Thursday night and finding out that the Wi-Fi isn't good enough to run this show.
That's it. We did try, didn't we?
We did try. We had a mad panic and it just didn't work, did it? So I decided I was going to ruin everyone's Sunday. So, hey.
Thank you.
Sorry, Andy and Andy's missus. I'm sure you had lovely plans.
Yeah. This is known as me time, but here we are.
It's known as our time now.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, so we're going to shoot off for a bit. You've got it, right?
Yeah, fine, yeah. So, Dents 101.
With magnets.
We will get to Andy and everything atom detail in a second, but shall we jump into those comments as always and join the 10 people that were brave enough to tell their other halves that we're not watching Love Island tonight. We're actually going to watch Those Dent Guys.
Good morning, afternoon, evening, Ryan. How are you doing?
How you doing, buddy?
I don't know what time it is.
Now it's a good job Ryan's on with us. Ryan has RPS over in Maryland, America, and Ryan has actually just started doing PPF stuff at his workshop as well. So good to have Ryan on board.
Nice one.
Stay tuned because I'm sure he'll have plenty of input for us.
Good effort. Joe, good evening, Joe. How are you doing? Are your arms hurting?
Hello, Joe. How we doing?
Igor, good evening, Igor.
Easy, boss.
In Holland, I think he is.
Hello. Hello.
We got Graham. Sorry, I was going to say something in Dutch, but I've forgotten Dutch. Evening, Graham. Joe Monk again, right, Joe? Graham Johnson, hello. Good evening.
Good evening, all.
And that's it.
That's it for now. Cool. Anyone else that jumps on, shout up and we will get to you. But yeah, fully aware there probably won't be too many folk right now. Maybe there will, maybe there won't. Who knows?
Hey up, Dave. How are you doing?
Evening, sir. Cool. So here we are for the first ever Sunday night. Those Dent Guys. Yay.
Right.
Everyone's not ready for bed yet.
What is all this PPF and ceramic coating stuff?
Yes, we are going to get into that. Shall we start off with a bit of a who's Andy and what is atom detailing? So welcome to the show, Andrew. It's nice to see you.
It's good to see you.
It's been a week. I've not seen you for a while.
I've missed your face. Yeah, so started atom detailing in 2013. Originally, it was just me on my drive at home, just doing friends and family's cars. Went mobile, bought a better van, got a small unit, met Ben, got a second unit. Now we're in, stopped doing the mobile side. Now we're in our Well, it was supposed to be our forever unit, weren't it, Ben? But
yeah, that's quickly running out, isn't it?
yeah, we're running out of space on that. So it's it's gone well. Gone from more just valeting to the detailing side, deeper cleaning to the polishing, to the ceramic coatings, to the paint protection film, vinyl wrapping, leather repairs.
Breathe.
Yeah. So that's why I have way too many products and equipment and tools, and you guys have your trolleys and off you go.
That's it. I mean, your Amazon deliveries at the workshop and
Unbelievable.
whatnot are just insane. It's like every day's like Christmas. It's impressive, if anything. But what I will say though, like from when I first met Andy to like, I think it was just at that point, just before you got your first unit, the way you've just taken stuff on and new things, super impressive. Like just all the new, like the leather repair stuff and just diving in and getting stuck in and upscaling that business. Really impressive stuff.
Well, as we're going to sort of get on to a bit later on, the main reason I wanted the units is because everyone was going ceramic coating. It was just starting to just be, everyone wants a ceramic coating. And for that, you typically need a roof over your head.
Yeah, I bet you do, yeah.
So I thought, you know what? It's not for me, this driving around for 20 quid, for a wash. And it costed me about 18 quid to go and do it, Yeah. So I thought, no way, this isn't for me, this. So I looked to get a unit. Probably there's a lot of especially in the UK, a lot of dent guys might know that as soon as you say you're anything car related, a lot of commercial properties just don't want to know.
Yeah.
They think you're a chop shop, tires everywhere, oil everywhere. So it took a while to actually find a unit, and luckily, as it found out, I spoke to another detailer and he said that he wanted the same unit and they turned him down. But just before I looked at this unit, a window tinter moved in, and he softened them up to this idea of it's a car related business, but it's not what you think.
Dirty, anything like that.
Yeah, we want it clean. We want it, dust free. Never mind clean. So he softened them up, and I sort of managed to. I mean, it's lucky, if anything else, that I slid in off the back of him softening them up, because I think the year before they turned another detailer down. So it's that's where it all started really, and then that takes off, and now you need more space undercover, and Ben slides into your DMs, and the rest.
Hey, baby.
Best thing he ever did. And then that was it really. And but I've always wanted to offer quite a few things, trying to get into the higher end. We're probably a couple of years late to PPFing, but we're not too late, and that is really just non-stop now.
Yeah.
I've seen it. It's mental, absolutely mental. I was saying this to Andy
really, because I'm looking at my bookings thinking, if I wasn't PPFing,
I was saying to Andy the other day when we were messing around with some bumper that had just fried my head a little bit. I was like, I figured out the difference between this and dents, other than the obvious it's not doing dents, is when we're doing dents, you've got time to think about it. You've got time to, this isn't quite working out. Let's have a cup of tea and a rethink. Not with PPF. The clock's ticking. You ain't got time to sort of step back and assess it for that long because it's drying, and you've really got to just go.
Yeah. It looks like if you get it wrong, it's going to cost you.
Oh, big time. I mean, I've had I had just enough film left, but I was pushing it because it's quite a wide bonnet, I think, and obviously the film's only so wide, and I adjusted the machine to just like be right on the edges, and halfway through it just spun it around, slit it all up, and that's probably 350 just gone.
Boom.
So, and that doesn't factor in, obviously, you could drop it, you could have a defect in the film anyway from the manufacturing, you could try and install it and it not go well, it could rip on you because maybe it's a bit cold. So it's everything about it very expensive, which is why I guess we're kind of doing this video. It's expensive to the customer because it's expensive for me to do it. So
right.
that's why it feeds into doing this video with you guys, just because it is more prevalent. We're non-stop booked up for months PPFing. You know, I would say in the future, over the next 10 years, unless they ban PPF, of course, you know, I think you'll struggle to find a Porsche that's not got at least some on, or, you know, anything higher end. Even, you know, your Mercedes and your BMWs, it might just be on the bonnet. You know, you can just do a section. So, and especially, ceramic coatings. You know, I think if you got 10 cars together now, probably 4 are ceramic coated, 2 have PPF on, and the rest have nothing. So it could catch someone out, could catch me out, could catch anyone out going forward for sure.
I think before we get too involved with the PPF and ceramic coating knowledge, with working alongside each other as we do, myself and Andy, I've come up against quite a few areas where I've had to call on Andy's sort of expertise and sort of say, I've got a ceramic coating here. What's the best thing I can be doing to tackle this or not to do, or if something goes wrong and solves it? Same with PPF. I get the chance to sort of work on some PPF panels now that I probably wouldn't normally. And again, we're coming up against a load of things. And my sort of thing was, I think there needs to be some information out there for the dent community, probably because I don't think there's really any sort of one-stop shop for everything right now. I see some conversations coming up in some of the groups and forums about the PPF cars and the ceramic coated cars, but it's kind of half the reason we've asked Andy to come on tonight. And also Andy and ourselves have sort of somewhat developed a bit of an open day that we're going to be doing to basically invite a load of you guys down to get your hands on with all this stuff on how to care for PPF panels, properly detailed panels, ceramic coated panels, what we can and can't be doing. So with that in mind, we are going to just chuck up on the screen now that we have actually arranged a first open day that we're booking out, which will be through Andrew's side business, Atom Academy, which is his training side now.
That's it. And the link's at the bottom.
Yeah, that's right. Andy set up Atom Academy to help start training people in the detailing ways, etc. And then alongside us as well, we're going to start looking at upping the knowledge levels on working with all this stuff as well, because if we get it wrong, it's going to start costing us a lot of money. So we figured if we can set up a bit of a course to help you guys out, I think it's going to be more than valuable, because there's a lot of scary knowledge there, to be honest, that freaked me out at first. And I think in our little pre-show there, I saw your face close and going,
yeah, that's Christ. It. I just learned something as well. So
that's it.
It is scary if you don't know what you're doing. You know, if you just get your little whizzy polisher out and give it a quick liquid of polish and send it on its way, it might be back.
That's right. So basically at the bottom of the screen now, guys, you can see a little link to the first open day we've set up, which is going to be on Friday, September the 3rd.
Yeah.
Basically 10 spaces available. And it's basically going to be to the view of getting 10 dent techs in to start learning the knowledge on this stuff, how to care for it properly, avoid any pitfalls, you know, even down to how to estimate stuff properly before you get involved with it and what to look out for and whatnot. So, Andy, what are you going to be looking to do on the day on your side?
So I think we'll, because we do detailing courses anyway, so I've taken a little bit from that. So I think we'll briefly go through what protection options could be on the car, right from something, obviously nothing, spray waxes, normal waxes, into ceramic coatings, consumer level ceramic coatings and a professional grade ceramic coating, and then PPF and vinyl. So what basically I'll go through what they're all about, and then also I'll be going through if you're dealing with a ceramic coated car or something like that, what to do afterwards, you know, in terms of you know, letting the customer know either you try and put it right yourself, or you need to let the customer know that they probably need to go back to the detailer. So whichever way around it is, but we'll cover the fundamentals of polishing somewhat correctly. And if I can say
I thought I was doing it right in the first place.
All the hate will be coming in, but no, I mean, it's just how sort of typically detailers do it now. Most have moved away from rotary polishers, especially in the UK. I know I still think it's a big thing in the US, but we're talking dual action polishers, specific polishers, what to do after you've polished it, and we'll also go through options for sort of putting some of that ceramic coating back if you have the means, if you can keep the car dry. There are some ceramics that can be used outside and cure within a couple of hours, so it does free you up to maybe even upsell it. Yeah. So instead of you leave the customer with a negative, you can actually turn it into a positive and fix the dent, fix the gap in the ceramic if you like, and and upsell for it as well.
Upsell, yeah, it's going to say that.
So we're going to basically just have this show going into some of the basics of this stuff, but obviously with the view to obviously really getting under the bonnet of it all on this course. So, like I say, guys, if you want to go and head to the Atom Academy website, I'm just going to put up a quick video for you now. So you'll go on.
Now, and we're doing the discount too.
That's right. So you'll go to the Atom Academy website and hit the 3 lines at the top, which will take you to book online. So you hit that book online button and scroll down until you see my pretty face. Thanks, Andy.
Well, what I've done now as well is I've moved that one to the top. So as soon just make it easier for everyone to access. So as soon as you click on that book link, right at the top is your face, Ben, for comfort. And everyone.
So yeah,
show us a real thing. Honest Ben's face is there, and just book.
That's it. So you just go into it, put your details in, and then it'll just be pay it now, and obviously pay onto the course. So Andy, what's the payment situation with the day course?
In terms of
costings, and I believe you're doing a 10% discount while this show's live, right?
Yeah, so while we're live on this, so it's £175 all in for the day. Pretty much a full day will include lunch and refreshments and everything like that.
I'm there.
For sure. You want your mug. But yeah, you can just pay online, PayPal, whatever you want to do. But yeah, while we are live on this, we've done a code PDR10, and that will get you 10% off. But I will be turning that off as soon as we get off this call, so you can save yourself a little bit there.
So essentially the day itself we're looking at, we're going to divide up into 2. So a group will be with Andy going over all the polishing stuff and the ceramic stuff on panels. Myself and Martin, we're going to be there. We'll have a panel fully PPF'd, which will give all you guys chance to just have at it with a PPF panel. So it's risk-free. Doesn't matter how much you damage it. Obviously, we've got to pay out for it. So basically, just so you can get all your tools on it, see how that PPF reacts to working with it, glue pulling, heat induction stuffs we'll have there, just with the view of let's go and mess a panel up and see how much you can get away with PPF. So it's just going to be a really risk-free scenario for everybody, as well as learning the care of those panels, how to deal with them.
What I'll do as well is we'll get some vinyl wrap, color change vinyl on the car or whatever that I've just bought for the training. So we'll do the bonnet or whatever on that, so we can have some gloss vinyl on, some satin or whatever matte vinyl on there, and just chew it up.
So that's it, guys. That course is available now, and there is a 10% discount for the duration of this show only. So go and get on it ASAP before there is no more chance to do so. Right.
I don't do discounts.
He doesn't. He's well expensive.
Yeah, I know, right?
So do a discount for an hour.
You can.
Emma keeps going, oh, can you take your car and get it cleaned at Andy's? I'm like, I don't think so, love. I've been asking him to do me van for 2 years. That's not happened. I wouldn't want him to. It's embarrassing. Anyways, I can see a few comments going up in the comments section now about some of this stuff. So let's get into it. Andy, what is PPF?
So first off the bat, I cannot go through the chemical composition of what this stuff is, right?
Of course you can.
I am not a chemist or whatever. So fundamentally, it's just a clear vinyl film. You apply it to the vehicle. The difference between color change wrap, traditional wrap and paint protection film. So vinyl wrap is there just to change the color. It's a lot thinner than paint protection film is. It's about half as thick, maybe even a third as thick as paint protection film is. Paint protection film originally was designed to protect helicopter blades in desert warfare or whatever, and then it's really evolved from there. How it is today is different to the one 5 years ago and 10 years ago and everything like that. So yes, that's fundamentally there to protect it from chips, scratches, all sorts of things really. The more modern films now, the top layer, it's about 10-20% of the film will self-heal. So light scratches from washing it and drying it can heal. I've had huge sort of bird etching marks heal up just with it out in the sun. You can use a heat gun, hot water to sort of seal it back up. Paint protection film goes on wet and you squeegee out the moisture. If there's air stuck behind it, that won't come out, but moisture will evaporate out. With colour change vinyl, that typically has air release, so the air will come out, and that obviously goes on dry. So it's everything about it's expensive. A roll of film, I think it's about 15 meters. You're talking £1,200. The machine to cut it, getting up for 8-10 grand. You could be £2,000 on the training, and every the wastage is high, and obviously you have to pass that on to the customer. So it's up there as arguably the most expensive paint protection option you can choose. As vendors, it takes a long time to do it. And yeah, if someone ever came back to me and said, right, I've been here, I've been there, I've had this work done, they've shredded the film, I will be putting in a big invoice to put it. It'll be the typical price to do it, plus the annoyance fee of having to redo it. But yeah, it could catch a lot of people out.
So as far as being dent guys, though, obviously this stuff is all singing, all dancing for protecting cars, but needless to say, cars can still get dented through the film, which on one hand is great because you're probably not going to get the paint damage, which leaves nice clean dents for us to sort out. But on the other hand, as dent guys, we've really, really got to start thinking about how we're estimating working on PPF panels, how we're repairing the PPF panels, and any potential pitfalls, etc. So in my head, I'm going to ask the basic question of, and I know this is a how long's a piece of string question, but on any given panel, when we go to estimate it, dear Mr. Customer, I can tell you've got PPF film. We need to start thinking about, can this actually be removed with the film on, or have we got to replace it? What kind of costings do you think we need to start thinking about when dealing with the customer? Both if we've got to take that time to not damage the film, if we can pull it off, or if that film has got to be damaged, what kind of costings do we need to look at on the backside of it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, one thing I would just throw out there straight away is just the generic question of, does your vehicle have some form of paint protection on it? It could be just whatever the common everyday questions are that you guys ask anyway, add that in. You might ask, oh, how did you hear about us or whatever? Just ask it as much as you would ask that or whatever other question you guys might ask it as a default. But I would throw that out there because, well, one is going to let is it just, they might say, I've just waxed it. Who cares to a certain extent? Yeah. Or, I've ceramic coated it. And sort of the follow-up to that would be, have you done it? Or are we talking like a professional, detail here? Or they'll say, well, I've got paint protection film on, blah, 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 blah. Because some might just have the bonnet done, might have just a wing, might have the whole car, might have just the front end. So, and also just in terms of actually identifying if the car has paint protection film on, that's probably I know what to look for, obviously. But yeah, typically it's a front end thing to stop the stone chips. If you look on bonnets, typically now the film will wrap underneath, so you won't see the edge of the film. Look in the corners because the PPF can't go round a sharp, corner, so the corners are notched out typically. So that's one, look in the corners, feel for the edge. But yeah, a lot of films now that we will wrap it round and under, so you can't see off. You know, it's really hard. I mean, Ben, obviously you're someone new to this, but you'll know how hard it is to see it.
Yep.
Especially when it's on and dry and you're outside and everything. It really is practically invisible. So just look for that anyway. But yeah, I mean, if someone said to me how much to do a bonnet, obviously depends on the car and how much film. It can vary a lot, you know. Somebody, we would probably be £500 to do a bonnet.
Yeah.
Roughly, I mean, I know some of the guys charge more or less, depends where you're going to go, but roughly something like £500 to do a bonnet. I would have to factor in potentially removing the film and then obviously redoing it. So it's going to be more than just doing it.
Yeah.
You've got to clean the whole car. We would polish it down. We would remove any glue from the old film and
degrease it all.
Yeah, degrease it all. Maybe go back out for another wash, bring it back in. You know, it's a monster process doing paint protection film.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, if someone wanted a door doing, you could be £300 to redo a door.
Mm-hmm. And that's just to put the film on, though. That's not even taking into account removing it, right?
It would depend on the car. You know, if it's my customer as well, you know, I don't want to. I'm not going to kill him on it. You know what I mean? It's one of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, if just someone just rolls up off the street, you know, they're not my typical customer. They're just sort of just passing quickly the day and drive home because the PPF's come off. You know, but yeah, it can be a very expensive thing. I mean, a full car, you're talking upwards of, you know, £3,500 plus the VAT. You know, front ends typically £1,500, £2,000 plus VAT. You know,
big money there.
We're expensive.
Yeah, and I think another thing that from asking that question of do you have any protection on the car? If they say, oh yeah, it's a professional ceramic coating or it's a professional PPF or whatever, then something needs to go on in your head that these are a certain type of person. It's a certain type of person that spends £4,000 putting a plastic film on the car, because all my customers and sort of they're mentally the same as me, but I just offer the service they want it. You know, they're that one stone chip and they'll die. You know, they will walk up to their car and only ever look at that chip. And you're there going, look, it's a Porsche, it looks amazing. Yeah, but that chip kills me, you know.
I've seen it. I've seen it,
yeah.
So that is, when you get into professional coatings and everything above that, they're a certain type of person, OCD, you know, yeah, they are a certain type of person. It's who all my customers are. I'm kind of used to it. I'm one of them.
Yeah.
So it's a self-help group, I always say, coming to us, as much as it's, you know, all my customers, they always just chat to each other because they're the same people, different cars, different backgrounds, whatever, but sort of mentally they're the same people.
So the sort of upshot of all this is really, like you say, this needs to be locked in at the estimation stage. You know, you can't go and tell the customer it's going to be a 200 quid dent, then find out you've got PPF to work around, because it's all time. I mean, for me, I've included it straight away on my MTRX. If I've got to work a PPF panel that I know I can keep the PPF intact, or hopefully so. Obviously, there's now a disclaimer involved in it, as much as there ever would be for glue pulling. Always comes with that risk of damaging the paint. Same thing with PPF. You do your best, but make them sign off on that disclaimer that there's a chance the PPF might fail, etc. But if I've got to work a PPF panel, it's going to take me longer now because I'm now taking more time. So I'm straight away plus 20% on that. If there's anyone else out there doing that, chuck it up. Like, how are you dealing with that? How are you adding on the right value to your service to cater for working around something like PPF film, etc.? So
I mean, I've repaired wings before with PPF on, and I didn't dare warm it up too much and tapping the high spots down and stuff like that. I was a bit nervy about doing it because you just, well, like you say, you don't want to be damaging it really, because it's expensive. I've seen the process, and it's like Andrew says, it's very involved.
Well, this is where it's going to be good on the open day. We're going to have that bonnet fully PPF there so that we can do all these things. You know, we can stick a heat gun on it, see how long it lasts before it deteriorates or this, that, and the other, just to give people a sense of, you know, what can I get away with, or what can we do to keep this thing intact? How far can I take it, etc. But yeah, definitely the estimation stage for us Dent guys is going to have to be a serious consideration. And the other thing is as well, it's not just for the root guys. Obviously, we're doing a hailstorm down in Leicester at the minute. I've not come across any yet, but I've been asking the question of everybody, same as what Andy's just said. Have you guys got any form of protection, whether that's PPF or any ceramic coatings, which we'll get onto in a second? But it's all stuff that's going to have to be thought about. You know, there's whole cars that could have a situation in there, and that's another conversation to be having with insurance companies then as well. Like, how do you charge that out? What are you going to do about it? So,
I think one thing with paint protection film is I think that there's very few detailers that PPF anyway. So I think you said maybe one of the guys on this call sort of has started doing it, but I would say 99% of the time it's also going to be something you can't fix yourself if you did have an issue. So obviously, you know, Ben can just walk through the curtains and say, help.
We have a problem.
We've got a problem here. And, you know, and vice versa, should anything go wrong on my side. So, you know, it's a good time to maybe find who is the top guy in your area who can help you out with it. So I think PPF, it is different to ceramics. So on the, you know, the training day, you know, we're not really going to be there. Right. So this is how you PPF. That is a whole other.
Yeah.
You know.
This isn't a teaching you how to PPF. It's teaching you like how we can work around the stuff.
Yeah. It's either a walk
working
away
with it
or factor it in to the, you know, the nth degree, because you know, if you can just ring someone up and say, right, I'm going to do a wing. This is what it is. This is what the car is. It's got PPF on. I'm thinking to just give it a go, see what happens. But what's the worst case scenario?
Yeah.
He says, right, 300 quid. Then you can go back to the customer and say, right, X amount for the dent, you know, or if it goes well, it's this amount. If it takes me longer because of the PPF, it's that. See how you end up. So you guys throw out your pricing, but also the disclaimer of, look, we don't know what's going to, you know, happen to this film. Worst case is your worst price and the, you know, the PPF's worst price. This is now a worst case. This is 500 quid, or it's 120 quid, depending on how well this goes. So, you know, that relationship with someone will help out massively, I'd say.
It's still a win-win though, because at the end of the day, you don't want to be painting the car. So if you can, worst case scenario, you know, put a new film on there, they're still getting the, you know, a proper repair done, aren't they? And, you know, getting the film back to as it was.
I want just 1 second. I've just seen this come up in the comments section. Check this. So Joshua is saying there was a body shop in my area that missed that a hood had PPF and still painted over it.
No way.
Quality.
Tell you what, I've seen that on an Aston Martin. You know those
foils
on the sides in front of the rear wheel. They'd painted over one and not the other.
I've seen that before.
So I thought, I'll put them some new ones on. These look a bit tatty. And then I'm like, why can't I feel the edge? Like, why? And I'm like, no way. And I went around the other side, and that was, I think they had one side painted, and they'd just gone over it.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So this is another one of those things where it's just education. It's exactly the same thing when it comes to pulling paint. Make sure you have those conversations. Don't leave yourself in a sticky situation. Same thing with PPF wrap. Spot it, deal with it as early as you can, you know. Quote your time accordingly, because it is going to take you more time to deal with. Just fully make the customer aware of the upshots and the downshots of everything you're about to do.
What you've more on you guys now, from what you've sort of dabbled with, Ben and Martin, if you've done it. So obviously there's a clear plastic film stuck on this car. Is there any, you know, I know you use hot glue and this, that, and the other. I mean, what are, you know, initial thoughts on issues that could happen? Obviously, melting.
Leg it.
Yeah.
I mean, we did. Obviously, I've had quite a bit of time to play around with various things on PPF, and I remember you had that, I can't remember the chap's name now, that M2 customer, that black M2, and he had a crease on his quarter, which went through a bit of wing flare PPF. Same thing. Obviously, he was going to have them redone anyway, but it was great training grounds to sort of run some processes. And I sort of said to him, listen, we'll do what we can to keep him on for now. And what may happen is because he wanted to get the dents out ASAP, but Andy couldn't book him in for a while. So I did. I glued the heck out of it. Obviously, after having all the conversations with him, kept the PPF fully intact, used soft tip tap downs, etc. And I'd say I got it to about, that 95% mark, whatever that means. But yeah, for all intents and purposes, it was gone. But when he did come to take the PPF off, there was still stuff there to deal with, which obviously then we did deal with before the new PPF went on. But it took some serious abuse, to be fair. I mean, obviously it had been applied properly. It's fully dried. And that's another question probably that Andy will sort of tell you when you get into depth with it is, has this PPF just been put on? It's probably going to need, a couple of weeks to really dry out properly.
Yeah, I mean, you guys at Texas can just go outside for 2 days, but typically we say 28 days for it to fully cure. I always liken it to sort of touch dry and fully cured. It's not, just as a kind of get that idea sort of in your head. But yeah, that's how we normally do it. But I mean, just as a side as well, I have seen PPF applied over a poorly painted panel, and the paint was lifting, and the paint was actually fully stuck to the film. It looked like a bubble, like a bubble, right?
Yeah.
So everyone thought it's the film. I didn't do it. It's the film had lifted. The film was massively stuck to the paint. The paint had come away.
Oh.
So even with glue pulling, and it's painted, it's got paint protection film on, and maybe you're doing a glue pull, you could pull the paint off. But
that sounds like a nightmare.
But so don't think, it's paint protection film, I'll just you guys do your thing or whatever as much as possible. So it's one of them. It might, you never typically have an issue with paint protection film on factory paint. Most people have paint protection film on straight away. So typically, it might never happen to anybody, but I have seen paint come away from the panel, but still be, underneath the film. Yeah. So don't let you into a false sense of security here. You think, right, I can bash away on this all day because it's got film on. There is still paint underneath. So, you're only as good as that foundation layer, really.
Yeah. Oh, hang on, look, we've had a space go already. Someone's already booked in. Happy days.
I just saw that, yeah. Good effort.
It's Joe Monk, look. Joe Monk's booked in for some training, and he's saying it is free tea and biscuits, right? No, not for you, mate. I've seen how much tea you drink. 3 cups.
In the morning.
Yeah.
Thanks for booking in.
Perfect. Top man. It's gonna be a good learning curve that day. I'm quite excited for it. I'm still learning. So it's even with what I've known now working alongside Andy, there's always something, or you just end up working on that car that's a bit more pristine and just sort of sets the alarm bells off a bit more, and you're like, Andy, what can I get away with?
Weekly bump time.
Put the toll cut down, son.
But so it'd be good to get some tools onto the behind there and just see what it'll take, especially with the knockdowns and stuff like that. Because the last job I did, I was real wary of using like a metal tap down. I thought, no way. Just use a soft tap down just in case. And even then I made marks, but you can warm it up and it self heals. But
exactly,
I reckon there's a point where it, you take it too far and that's it. It's a goner.
Yeah, for sure. I think like Andy was saying, what did you say? The top 10 or 20% of the film will heal? Yeah,
so it depends on the brand, but normally they say about the top 20%. Light defects will heal. I mean, it'd be interesting to see. I've never heard of anyone sanding it, so I'm sure somebody has.
I kept quiet that day.
Yeah. So
wow.
It would be interesting to see if you know, for, I don't know, 2000 grit on PPF, would that heal? I don't know.
Yeah, well, we'll be running those tests. We'll be running them.
No idea. Also, just one thing to note is that the factory installed film, so those sections that you'll get on BMWs in front of the wheels or Porsche or anything like that, that is not proper paint protection film. That is just cheapo, nasty, non-self-healing 3M sticky back plastic, I think. So that is a whole different animal to sort of, you know, aftermarket, if you like, paint protection film. So again, that's almost a thing all by itself.
Yeah.
If you take that off, if anyone's ever taken that off and you leave it, it'll set rock hard. It's more like plastic that set rock hard. So
it goes all white as well, and you just can't ever straighten it straight up.
It's just,
you think
it's horrible stuff, really. But so that if maybe you've got away with something on PPF, doesn't mean it's going to work on factory installed PPF.
So a lot to think about. There's a lot to think about.
And that's only PPF.
That's right. That's what I was getting to. So that's kind of a brief overview of PPF stuffs. Now, on something that I probably think's more of a minefield because it's almost become a bit of a buzzword is the ceramic coatings. And I was even asking you this question the other day. You know, you'll get these sort of waxes that are now classed as ceramic coatings, this, that, and the other, and it's like, is it though? Isn't it? I don't know.
Superguard, Diamond Bright.
Well, don't get him started because he will go on a mental spout off.
I was being serious.
He's getting queasy. He's getting queasy. Right, let's start at the start. For anyone who doesn't know, what is a ceramic coating in its proper form?
So, well, what I'll do, I'll quickly blaze. I've nicked this sort of from my training thing, but I'll quickly blaze through what could be on the car, I guess. So, obviously, nothing is a starting point. In terms of easy to apply and durability wise, you're into your spray on kind of spray waxes. All that sort of good stuff. Obviously, with ceramics going crazy, people have started putting 0.2% ceramic in other products, calling it a ceramic this and ceramic that because they know it will sell, and people then start saying, oh yeah, I'm ceramic coated, when they're not really. So again, a bit of a minefield really, especially for my customers. Why are you this price and he's that price, and kind of just buy this and all sorts of stuff. So then you move into sort of from the spray on sort of stuff, maybe you get 2 or 3 months out of it. Then you're into hard waxes. You might get 3 to 6 months. Obviously, I'm being very, generalizing it. Then you go into the sort of entry level ceramic coatings, the DIY ones. They tweak them so that you've got more time to buff it off.
Right.
You can do it outside. They don't last as long. So basically, it's like a balancing act between how good it is and how easy it is to apply and remove and everything. So if you make it like really easy to apply, durability ends up, way down, and vice versa. Then as you move up into the professional grade ceramic coatings, they become a lot more difficult to apply. You're into controlling humidity, never mind sort of temperature, keeping it dry for at least 12 hours, 24 if you can. And you could be into, like, we're G-Technique accredited, so we use their Ultra. Now that fully cured, if you did a bit, left it, typically you might have to sand it off the car. So that is, you're a long way away from, spray waxes and even entry-level ceramic coatings. So fundamentally, ceramic coatings, it's sort of ceramic kind of quartz type coatings derived from sort of sand or wherever they get it from, but they will actually sort of bond with the paintwork and almost become part of it. Whereas your waxes typically just sort of stick and just try and hang on as long as they can, survive as many washes as they can, and then obviously sort of wear away. But the main thing with, or the thing that people like about ceramic coatings and waxes and everything, is the hydrophobic effect. So the water beading up and shooting off and running off, and they all look to, they all want that. So yes, that's basically the difference. Obviously, if you're doing a dent and it's anything up to the ceramic coatings, they've probably waxed it themselves anyway. So you could just say to them, right, you're probably going to want to wax this, after I'm done, kind of thing. Fine. once you get into your ceramics, again, if they've done it themselves, they probably won't mind coming back out, putting a bit more on, and leave them to it. Now, when you get into the professional grade coatings, again, similar to the PPF, it's either got to go back to the detailer to sort it out, or if come on the training day or whatever, and we'll show you a way that you can, with the customer's knowledge, obviously, sort of deal with, polish it right, and almost sort of apply some ceramic. It might not be the same as what they've got, but just put something back so that you're not leaving them with some issue that they didn't have before you arrived. I mean, one thing I've always tried to do with whatever we're doing is, fix whatever, the reason that they're there, but don't give them a negative that they weren't expecting. So, you don't, I've cleaned your interior. Yeah, but you've scratched the sat nav. It's clean. So, so it's, and I think the thing is, especially with these picky, sort of customers and OCD and everything, they are that certain type of person where they're going to love you for getting the dent out. Now, it might not be there and then, but the next time they wash it or the sun comes out, if they can see a gap, I'll hold my hands up. We had a car come back to us the other day. There's a small patch on the roof that we missed with a ceramic coating. Now, he came back to me. We give him a free wash anyway, but he said, just check the roof, because when it rains, the rain's just sliding off everywhere and beading up, except for like a sort of 3-inch little strip. So what we've done, we coated this way, coated that way, and missed a patch in the middle. You can't really see it. You don't know you've missed it. So, so when we're washing it, the water just sat dead in like a perfect little rectangle. So if you, do either your polish or your sanding or whatever you're doing on a panel, you might not see it there and then, but next time it rains or when they wash it, the water will all slide off everywhere else, and there'll be this dead patch in the middle. And
it's
now that's
obvious.
Yeah. So whether they might be ringing you up, they might be wanting you to sort it. So it all comes back to that initial thing of what's on your car. And
I'll chuck up an extreme version of that while you're talking now. So you sent me this through before. So a bit of a unceramics on the left and a ceramics on the right.
So it's the typical kind of sort of thing, but so it's a bit of an overkill sort of idea. But imagine you've done half a bonnet. Let's say you've done your dent, you've polished half the bonnet, but you could leave someone roughly with something looking like that, with them going, what's
like that before.
Yeah, what's happened to my car? And obviously it's obviously more obvious if it is just that circular patch where the dent used to be. But, who are they going to ring? They're going to ring the dent guy.
Because they've got a problem.
You've stripped my ceramic. This cost me $1,000 to do the whole car. Who's paying for this? Now, if you can either do something about it, or you teamed up
pre-warn them
or whatever else, then you're already, it's fine. Everyone says, well, if I know about it, it's fine, but you didn't tell me that. You could do a 200 quid dent and do 300 quid worth of extra work for him. So that's pretty much it with ceramic coatings. I know, Ben, with yourself, you found, I think your suction cups and stuff don't stick as well, just as a very specific thing to you guys. I mean, your guys are probably the ones to say,
I think both when you're using sort of your suction boards, but more importantly, glue pulling on ceramic coated panels, can certainly become a bit more of an issue. At which case, I know a lot of guys are just going to go. I mean, not me, because I don't do it, but a lot of guys are going to go, well, let's just toll cut a bit off. Of course we do.
I'm getting worried because I use G-Technique panel wipe to clean my panels down with.
Is that going to affect anything, Andy? Like, in fact, I think
right. Just as a side, just because I am G-Technique accredited, their product that is really strong, right? They've even said to me, we're going to try and reformulate it because it's massively strong. A lot of guys cut that 50% with water. rightly or wrongly. We've moved away from it because we found that it'll soften the lacquer up. Not to a point where you're like, yeah, no. Well, there's 9 slots available, Martin. So
there's 8 now.
No, but microscopically it sort of does. So we found that it sort of softened the lacquer a little bit. So then when you wipe it, even with a brand new cloth, it will put you've got to be there with your face like this with a torch to see it. But it does seem to sort of soften the panel, especially on darker colours, softer paints. And just a wipe with a cloth will now mark it when it shouldn't have done or wouldn't have done if you don't use that panel wipe. So yeah, it's a bit strong, but you want to be doing that sort of thing, to be honest with you. Body Shop, I use Body Shop panel wipe. U-Pole Slow is what we use. But yeah, there's quite a few different options out there. But yeah, just for anyone using the G-Technique stuff, it is a bit potent, that stuff.
Right, yeah.
So in answer to, I
Thank
think
you very much for that.
Brought it up a bit ago. Will alcohol strip off ceramic coatings? So you know how we'll use like our panel prep or alcohol sprays, etc., for glue pulling or cleaning. Is that likely to damage the ceramic coatings at all?
No. So well, I think you'll be fine on anything professional grade up, or at least mid-level ceramic up. You should be all right. One of their main things that they do well is chemical resistance. So yeah, tar removers and alcohol and that sort of stuff. Ideally, you don't want to be using 99.9% alcohol straight out the bottle anyway, for similar reasons of potentially it could do something. A lot of things that we do is potentially it's just not worth the risk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it half mixed with water, well, do that and you could pour it all over the car and you're fine, but you could hit that repainted panel, older car, I don't know, and 99.9% IPA straight out the bottle could bleach it and fade it and all sorts of stuff. So like I said, one of them, it's kind of not worth the risk. But yeah, typically with tire removers and everything like that, you're fine. From, I would say, anything from a well applied mid-level ceramic up.
Right.
So anything below that, waxes, it will potentially remove that.
And what about polishing? Because I mean, regardless, like you might fix that dent perfectly, no issues, maybe just a couple of little tap down marks you want to get off, and then you go and polish the panel with whatever you may be using. Is there anything that's likely to affect, well, both PPFs and ceramics, I suppose?
So, I mean, I would, as a default position, I would assume that any compounding or polishing potentially will remove everything on the list, right? Obviously, there's so many variables with machines, pads, compounds, and everything else. So, like I said, with fully cured ultra, and you've left a high spot, then you could really be into wet sanding. Certainly, extensive compounding. With ultra, you will see where you've removed it because it's a thicker coating and everything. You will see a sort of like where where you have removed the coating, there might be a slight difference.
Right.
But kind of like a lacquer mark if you was polishing, where it goes.
Yeah, it's
right.
Very
okay. Faint. Just faint. Yeah.
Yeah, you might just see it, certain angles and everything, but yeah, you could see it. So again, I would go into any of this on the assumption that mid-level coatings you don't really know, but I would just, as a default position, just assume you are going to remove what, other than PPF, you are going to remove whatever's on that car in that area that you are working on. Yeah. But yeah, the polishing is a whole other thing. I mean, in our training when we do 2-day, Adam's up, cool.
Evening, Adam.
Is it detailing, buddies?
Yeah.
Detailer from Hull.
There you go.
You're just podcasters now, anyway. That's all you are.
That's right. You ain't seen me fix a dent for months, have you?
Yeah. So so the thing with polishing is that is a whole thing by itself. We spend a day and a half on it on our 2-day. We try and get to that bit as quick as possible. There's quite a few fundamentals. We'll be going through it on the training day, but I'll try and just blitz through some of the fundamentals. From what I've seen, a lot of you dent guys like to use little rotary
Not anymore. Not anymore.
Well, as of just
No.
pre us going live.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So the trouble with the old school way of doing it, body shops and everything, was the rotary machine. So a rotary polisher will just spin on that central axis, basically like a drill, but with a pad on, and just, you know, like a grinder really, and just spins around. Now they are really hard to master. They've kind of, for the most part, died out really. There's some purists. I never bother with any of that because it's really hard. I'm just going to throw that out there. But when you're polishing with those, the angle of the pad, the type of the pad, your arm speed, how much polish you've put on, the heat, there's so many variables. So yeah, so that's buffer trails, holograms, whatever you want to call it.
That was a car I worked on last week, that.
Yeah. So we come across this all the time. Adam and know as well in the detailing world. That is dealers or body shops zipping around it with a rotary polisher, and you get that. Now, you think, why would anyone let a car leave looking like that? The problem is,
Probably don't see it.
Yeah, you don't see it. If you're not looking for it, you don't see it. So you've got the oil, the lighting is quite important. If you've got the oils and the residue of the polish and it's still on the car, so if you've not panel wiped it, then it will be hiding that. That will then wash off in a couple of washes. Sun comes out, customer sees that, and my customers would be dying inside if they see that. So that is the main. You see it all the time with body shops, all the time with dealers, because it's quick. They just zip round, looks good, you know, under dull artificial light. It looks good, shiny, great. Sun comes out, and you get that. So that is just human error, really. It's the wrong pad on the wrong machine for the wrong amount of time, in the wrong way, the wrong angle, the wrong speed. It's just wrong. So one of the
That's a no.
So just no. One of the easiest ways to combat that is to move to a dual action polisher. Now, what some guys will do is they might use a rotary to get away any sanding marks or deeper scratches, and then just go over it afterwards with the dual action. So a dual action sort of doing this. Where am I going? There we go. Doing that. So it's not as intense in one spot. So it's kind of, it's a subtler kind of action, almost mimicking your hand, you know, doing the whack the car or whatever. So it is not impossible, but it's, yeah, you'll struggle to put lines in like that with a dual action machine. And also what you might do, typically you might have to go with a compound, so something more abrasive, and then go on a second time with something to refine it. But like I say, until it's panel wiped and you've put a torch on it and you've shone it at all different angles, typically to see stuff like that, you want to sort of have the light shining down on it, almost from like above, and you'll see it shimmering. Yeah. If you shine it bang on, you'll see swirls and other stuff, but you won't. You might not see the lines because it's so bright; it just wipes it out.
So this is where
you shine it down, you'll see it. But yeah, that it's an obvious, you know, a human has been there, done something, and left it like that.
This is again where this course is going to be good, because obviously there aren't many dent guys that are going to go out buying all these new different types of polishes, this, that, another, because it's another realm of something we've already got our hands full with doing dents and dentals, etc. So being able to learn how to get the most out of what you've got, or to do what you need to do in as correct a way as possible with what you've got, which probably 9 times out of 10 are going to be the small polishers that we do use, like the Milwaukees, or
I see.
Can't say that, Brandon. Jesus Christ.
Damn.
Milwaukee.
But also in terms of removing the lacquer, you will zip through that. You know, you've got an aggressive pad on a rotary, you will zip through the lacquer potentially in no time. So
do you mean like a 6-month-old pad? Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah. So we would recommend washing your pads, new pads, at least, you know, once every 3 years, Ben.
It's not true.
It's Christmas present every year, and he uses them right the way around.
Yeah. So
so there's a few tweaks. The dual action machine, it can feel a little bit, because it's off. It's got an off like a counterbalance on it, so they are a bit sort of, you know, sort of jerky in your hands, but they don't pull you around the panel like a rotary can feel like it does. So it's just a different sort of sensation, if you like. But it does take some of the not the skill out of it, but you know, it does make things a bit easier. But yeah, I mean, all I would say, you know, a lot of guys probably watching this thinking, I ain't got time to, you know, polish it, just bill for it then. You know what I mean? Just add another, I don't know, 10% on and cover it.
You know, I'll call the MTRX guys and that anyway. You've got the option there to add that on. You know, just put your whatever pricing you want in the back end and just click it on every time. You know, if you're dealing with one of those cars, or like Andy says, if you've got that customer that's spent out however many thousands on PPF or on ceramic coatings, etc., they are going to be that customer that gives a damn. And if we walk away and they see that done to their car, you can bet your ass you're going to get pulled for it.
Yeah. I mean, I thought I was doing a good job with some of my polishing after repairing them, but I'm getting a bit worried now.
Well, when the first guy worked for me, because what I would like to do is, if we got the car inside, with panel wiper, I'll turn the lights off and just go around it with the torch. So then you can see, there's no ambient light to sort of interfere with things. So he suddenly went, yeah, we never did that where I was before. I'm like, oh, did you not? He went, no. He said, I've never done that. He's like, I'm now a little bit worried. Because he said we'd just have sort of a big spotlight, off to the side. That was it. And we'd sort of just stand there with general lighting going, looks good, see you later. But the thing that always worries me is that a customer spots something a month or two down the line, and then, they might not ring you to tell you, oh, just to let you know, thanks for doing my dent, but, I had to go back to the dealer. They just don't ring you. They just ring someone.
Tell the friends about it.
Yeah, they tell a friend. You could get the review. Imagine the review. Oh, I did a great job getting the dent out. Shame my door looks like chewed up. I've got to go back to the detailer and polish it. And I'm happy to sort of pay the price for the dent, but I wasn't expecting 200 quid back at the detailer to sort of Bonnet out. And also it shows you know what you're talking about. You're going to go that extra mile, and even if they say, well, why are you more expensive than the next guy? Just say, well, look, I know what to do, with the ceramic coatings or PPF or whatever else, and you just look like the, more of a professional really than,
we already are.
You're like, I've removed half your ceramic. I'll call you back.
Yeah, well, it's another one of those almost accreditations. How many times do we say it? I know how to deal with that electric hybrid car now. I know how to deal with this or that. Now I know how to deal with your ceramics or how to work with PPF. I know that can be done, or it just gives you another string to your bow and another reason why you are over here as opposed to the next guy. Invaluable stuff. I mean, even just what I've learned being side by side with you the past few years and whatnot, scary, really. Really scary.
Yeah.
And that's only really grazing the surface of sort of obviously asking you questions, but also seeing how you guys operate on your side and whatnot. It's a whole new ball game.
Sounds like it.
And on the on that training day, we'll be going through some options in terms of how to how to polish it and how to ceramic it. And I'll go through some more sort of simple ceramics to apply more of the DIY stuff. So it's just to put something back for the customer. They could have had it detailed 2 years before, 3 years before. So the coating could be half off anyway. So the flip side is you then go and put some new ceramic on and the door looks, the best. Yeah, the best bit of the car. So I'll go through just some options you can get. You can get yourself a little bottle, probably about a 40 quid thing. Just take it round with you. And should you ever have this issue, just speak to the customer, say, right, I've got some of this, I'll put it back on. It'll just put some of that hydrophobic back. You won't notice the water different, that patch or whatever, bill them each 40 quid a time, and away you go, or whatever you want to do. But yeah, we'll like I said, we'll be covering a lot of things on the training day. But it's a lot to cram into. It's a full day that we're trying to cram into this hour. So
yeah, well, it's just literally an overview just to highlight to folk and obviously say, right, there's probably a whole other world out there that we all need to start thinking about now. As much as, like I say, the hybrid cars, electric cars are coming along. yep, dealing with PPFs and ceramics ain't going to kill you, but it can land you with some big dollars if you're not paying attention. Lordy knows. So, yeah, just one last time, really. That ceramic and PPF day will be going on at our workshop on September the 3rd, which is a Friday.
Certainly is.
It's 175 quid, but if you book now with the discount code of PDR10, that's 10% off. I think what might be a good idea, Andy, is just to leave that running for half an hour after the show as well, just for any folk who didn't want to break off from watching our beautiful faces.
Well,
so
I'll
let
it go another hour, just in case anyone's got any questions.
Yep.
If they want to, reach out to you guys, and you can funnel them to me, or just ask them through Atom Detailing Facebook or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. We're still going to be on after this.
Or the Instagram.
The Instagram that someone set an age up.
Hang on.
Here it comes. Hey.
No, has he gone? He came back. There we go.
Oh, there we go. I was given one job, wasn't I?
Go check out
the secret. Yeah.
Go check out Andy's Instagram, Atom_detailing_Sheffield. Check him out on TikTok as well. He bloody loves his TikTok. He does. He's almost TikTok famous. I've had some good numbers, mate.
Recently, well, yeah. I'm viral now. Not COVID.
That's the next big thing is TikTok.
There we go. But yeah, it's going to be a valuable day, and like myself and Martin will be there as well, with PPF panels, so that we can all, as techs, have at it and give them some serious grief, see what we can get away with, see what we can't get away with, just how
push
far
the
we
limits.
Push it. Yeah, glue pulling, what pushing does with sharp tips or not, etc. It's a fail safe to just get on one of those panels and figure out what you can and can't do, rather than a real world up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you only get one chance.
And they get to meet their dent heroes or whatever.
Of course. He loves it. Here's a story. So Andy, in the not too distant past, has become a bit of a big bit of a deal on the detailing scene. What group are you involved with, and what's your current position? Miami.
You mean the International Detailing Association?
Yes, the International Detailing Association.
The IDA. And Adam's a part of that as well. So, yeah, I'm the Vice President of the International Detailing Association UK chapter.
There you go. And every morning...
It's like,
Every morning he rolls into the workshop wearing his aviator glasses, and all I can hear in my head's the Top Gun theme tune. And he won't talk to me unless I call him Miami. So.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Andrew, boss man at Atom Detailing.
Look, I didn't write that, FYI. I mean, this is...
No, listen, fair play to you, mate. You're making strides, and it's much the same as almost what we're doing with this show. It's about education and pulling a community together and just making sure everyone's on the same page. So it's great that you're also doing that in the detailing world. So fair play to you, man.
We like to have a dabble, but it's all about building the industry and pushing it forward and trying to make it move away from I don't know, sort of set the standard really. Yeah,
exactly.
And just sort of move the industry forward, get detailing more recognised as a qualified profession, and just kind of ride that wave really.
Fair play to you, boy. Fair play. Love it. Well, we've had a good hour and 8 solid talking all things not necessarily dent related. So fair play to everybody for coming along tonight. But before we do start winding it down,
I've learned quite a lot. I've learned quite a lot. I have. Thank you very much.
Before we do disappear, though, it would be worth just chucking something up that is a bit dent related. And you know how we don't do dent of the week anymore? Somebody has sent us a dent of the week. So let's have a little lucky, shall we? We all know it. I'm going to have to do that again now because I forgot you got the chapters. Seamless. Let's go. Graham, if you've not been living under a rock this past week, you will have seen this already, but we're going to show it again. Look at the state of that. Do we know the backstory on this one?
Didn't have any PPF on it, but it's a Mercedes SL 500 or 300, I think it was. It was in the body shop. He didn't want to replace the panel or fill it, so he was given a task of seeing how good he could get it, and it was a glue pull only repair.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that looks a bit naughty up there, doesn't it? Oof,
There's all sorts going on there.
Bad. Yeah, that's had it.
Yeah.
But yeah, 4 hours I think it took him, and he used his full 2 trays of Keiko products, and he just whizzed it out.
Good
When
lad.
does the kettle of boiling water and the plunger come out?
Hey, there he is. Look, the kettle had come out quite a few times during that repair. If it was me, but not to be chucked on the panel.
That's it.
Good lad, though.
So,
I mean,
yeah, there you go. Just saved the panel and go on. Sorry.
No. I was literally just going to say the same thing.
Well, yeah, it saved the car from getting a quarter taken off, so you got all those back edges that have not been affected. So there's no chance of it rusting or corroding. You know, and a body shop can easily take that on now. You know, just buzz it down, put a skimmer filler in there, and paint it. You know, could even go out like that, couldn't it?
Lovely stuff, mate. Lovely stuff. Well prepped.
Bravo.
Well, indeed. And that's what it's about, saving them panels.
That's it.
Well played, Graham. I don't think he's on tonight. Is he on tonight?
No. That's on his YouTube channel as well. Dent Detail PDR, I think it is.
Dent Detail PDR. There you go. Happy days. Do we have any other business to attend to, boy?
I don't think so. You just need to get on that. atomacademy.co.uk/book and get it booked to get your discounted ticket.
That's it. Discounted tickets. Come for a good day. Learn some knowledge bombs on dealing with that PPF and the ceramic coatings. Working with them, dealing with them, avoiding any issues, and all them good things. It's going to be a good day. It's going to be a good day. We'll have a crack.
Just for the lunch. And it'd cost you more to go out, buy a bonnet, get it PPF somewhere, you know, for you to play around and ruin it yourself. So come and run around
there. Your stuff. That's it.
That's it. Roll into the workshop and mess some stuff up and just.
How does this ceramic coating work? Just stick it all over like, it's just a couple £100 down the drain.
I see you've done the course.
Not yet.
Just lob it at the car.
That's it. Yeah, I think I bought some G Technique stuff for the wheels. You know, the serum for the wheels. It's like 80 or 90 quid for a little bottle like that. I lost it. I don't know where it's gone.
Yeah, but they sell you like 40 quid little holders for your bottles of ceramic, because the top one we use is 100 quid for like 30 mils, and you knock that over, and you know.
Yeah, it's a bad day.
I didn't even work out what that is, you know, per mil, but yeah, it's a bad day when that falls on the floor. I tell you that.
Yeah, you only do it once, don't you?
Nice. Oh, Jason's turned up. Look, I've just seen in the comments. There you are, mate.
I saw it.
As always,
good evening, Jason.
One of them. There's not one we can put up on screen, I don't think. Good lad.
Yeah, Collins, Francisco. Hello. There's some other chaps that came on here earlier.
Who's that?
Those Dent Guys.
No idea.
Nah, dear. Joshua, there you go.
Right, folks, it's Sunday evening. Thank you all for jumping in at last minute notice, and we will get back to regular scheduled performances, shows, whatever you want to call it.
I enjoyed that one. It's good. Thank you very much, Andrew, for joining us.
100%.
All right, you're welcome. Had a good time.
Thank you for coming on, boy, and we shall see you soon. And yeah, everybody go check out Andy's pages, search Atom Detailing across all platforms and see what he gets up to. And one last time, that course is there, and Andy will have the 10% discount running on atomacademy.co.uk for the next hour. So
that's it.
Get on that course, learn some knowledge bombs for 10% less.
PDR 10, that's what you're quoting.
There we go, guys.
All
right, guys and girls. Once again, thanks for joining us. I've been Ben from Trident PDR.
I've been Martin from Dent Remover.
And I've been Andrew from Atom Detailing.
That's
Thank
righty.
you very much for joining us. If you want to catch us, you can get us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Search Those Dent Guys. And Ben, where can you find us on the streaming services?
Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Libsyn, iHeartRadio. Search Those Dent Guys. I promise I will get those back up to date at some point soon when I can find a spare second. I don't have too many of those, it would seem.
That's it. Definitely not.
So, once again, guys, thanks for joining us and have yourselves a blooming lovely week. I will, because I'm going on holiday. How'd you like them apples? It's about time. It's well earned, and I'm not going to feel guilty.
Have a good time.
Brace yourself.
Skeg Vegas.
Peace out, everybody. We'll see you soon for another episode of Those Dent Guys.
Take care.
See you later.
Y'all.